What's going on, everyone? So update today, we're gonna look at Shiba Inu, see what's going on with it. And currently today is the weekend and the market overall is taking a massive dip. It's all in the red, and we actually go over and look at it really quick. Just look at the Red Sea right now. Everything's in the red, and pretty much Bitcoin down 34K, and it's maintaining all right around 2.3K. But for the most part, even Doge, it's at 28 cents. So it's significantly lower than its all-time high, I'd say again. And also SHIB today, it's at 0.00007666. Now, here are some things. Let's just look at the numbers today. Look at updates, and I'll share my thoughts. And also remember, guys, this is my own opinion. This is not financial advice. Be sure to do research before making any investments. This video is just for entertainment purposes only. Now, looking at the data, so we are currently at ranked 33 for SHIBA INU, aka SHIB. So it's actually lower since its all-time high. Market cap is at 3 bill, so down slightly. It's still in the billions, but the thing that you want to keep your eye on, and it fluctuates obviously throughout the days, but at least currently today, this is the lowest that I've seen it since my last update. And we've broken the billion-dollar volume, and now we're pretty much in the hundreds of millions. So now we're sitting at 489 million volume in the last 24 hours, which is still a humongous amount of volume, right? You're hundreds of millions of dollars volume. Yet the original volume when it got it to its highs back down here was ridiculous. Like you can see at the high point, if you just read that number, the volume, look at 24 hours, it says 11.8 billion. You see that? 11.8 billion volume. So we're literally, that's more than like a 20x. You just round out to 500 mil, times that by 20, you're at like 10 bill plus, right? Less volume than it was at the high point. So that's definitely something, one, you need to keep your eye on, because a lot of people do see some things that they're working on, the roadmap and everything. But just looking at things just today, volume has died. Obviously, market overall market's down, and I keep saying this again. It's I made my already analysis on the actual product problem solving stuff, but just looking at it from the sheer meme, cryptocurrency community coin, pretty much the main things you have to look at is the general overview of interest, right? Because similar with this and Dogecoin, if interest dies, then doesn't matter what technology they're putting out. Doesn't matter what new whatever's coming out. Doesn't really matter, guys, because the volume is the thing that needs to increase. So just looking at it right now, and I could go to trading view, but for the overall chart, it's pretty it's pretty easy to look at right now because not much going on. Pretty much we saw it. It hit, looks like this low point around, and even at this point, back in like a couple of days ago, it's at 1.6 bill, almost 1.7 technically bill volume. This slightly increased, so we can see the volume almost increased by like, what is that? Like 600, 700 plus 100 million, right? So we're now at 2.2. Now we drop back down. So just looking at the general charts, we just lost over 2 bill volume in this past few days. Now we can look at the markets, and we're looking at right now, Binance still leading, so the Chinese exchanges. But in general, again, there's not much in terms of like news. If you check the news updates, you can see here they do have an article about another rapper, famous at least in the States if you follow. He actually did post it on Dogecoin too. He was part of Dogecoin. I believe he put a story about it. But basically, if you just look at the history after Vitalik burned everything, nothing really happened, right? And that's big key to keep your eyes on, because if nothing goes on, then nothing is gonna really move this sheep, right? Also, looking at I'd say the PR, or essentially how the media outlets are looking at it, we can see here it takes a tumble, right? So a lot of the news articles now, if you were to see any posts, it's basically just talking on its downfall, right? So beforehand, when Dogecoin pretty much went crazy, all these articles are like, oh, what's the next Dogecoin? What's the next Dogecoin? Pretty much, right? And that's caused a lot, not just SHIB, but a bunch of other cryptocurrencies to skyrocket, which you can see literally did this up here. And then everyone made these ridiculous gains, and the next thing you know it, the hype, the media, the PR dies, and for these cryptos, again, I say because I've already made a review on the website and it's not impressive to me. So if the community, the PR stuff goes away, then the movement's not gonna move, right? The only way it's gonna move is literally from interest and volume increasing at this point, because aside from that, there's no really long term tech I see that it's actually shown yet that would make it sustain and reach its all time highs again, right? Especially to be worth 3 bill plus market cap in the top 30, being out for literally what? If you go back to this date, it shows August, but pretty much for the most part, not much happened until technically out here. So in general, I think if volume increases, if overall market comes back, then yes, SHIB could slightly run up, obviously. But I think biggest thing is to keep an eye on the top cryptos right now, because Bitcoin doesn't move if it doesn't go back to its highs, 50, 60 plus, surpassing those all-time highs. I just don't see how SHIB would make even a slight movement, because the overall general view of the market has significantly died down. And I even say this too, is that it's closer to the summer, at least from the States, which means people are not going to be stuck at home as much. They're going to be going out more. World's opening up back again. And basically, they're going to be going out. They're not going to be spending time looking at the charts and putting their money into cryptos or even the stock market. They're going to be spending it on vacations, tourism, things of that nature, right? So if that's the case, there's going to be a huge influx of volume that's going to decrease from the overall cryptos in general. And the next thing you know, it's only the ones that have like a legitimate project and or have a legitimate community that maintains itself behind it will maintain its position. Like for instance, ETH, I don't really see much going on. Like in terms of ETH going to zero, I don't really see that happening in the next year. So it just doesn't make sense, right? Even Cardano, it's on its rise too. XRP has some huge backing behind that. Dogecoin, pretty big community. Elon Musk still talking about it. And for the most part, most of these, like Coin everything, these are on Coinbase, etc. So these ones have been to the test of time. They've been here for multiple years, and you can pretty much see their history throughout the time. Here, with SHIB, it's only been out for a few months, and it's already done its wave, right? So I think everyone thinks that just because it did it one time, it can do it again. But again, if you know like the casino fallacy, it's like just because you won once doesn't mean it's gonna happen again. Also, vice versa. If you lost 9 times in a row, that doesn't necessarily mean the 10th time is gonna lose. It could potentially win, and then vice versa again. If you win 9 times in a row, doesn't mean you're gonna win the 10th time, right? So that's something you have to consider, because if you just look at this and thinking, oh, YOLO in here, next thing you know, it's gonna go back to highs. Again, there has to be movement, and these are the most important things to look at: is 1, the volume; 2, the overall PR. Because I don't think people think about, for these cryptos, PR is huge, right? No one's talking about it. Next thing you know it, boom, the volume dies. And I can tell too, since I'm creating content, is I can see the views on these type of content, like what videos are pretty much people creating. And next thing you know it, you can see which pretty much has the most PR, aka the most reach. And then next thing you know it, if it starts to die down, then you definitely can see a trend in the overall chart as well. So depending on how this video does will determine at least the current demand interest in it. Because a lot of people from here, they got in, they checked out the content, PR, everything on social media. Next thing you know it, they started to tank, they disappeared, and you never heard from them again. So that's definitely some things to consider. But do let me know your thoughts, your price predictions in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.